Good morning, guys. How's everything?
Very good.
I double snoozed today, and I did it in my sleep. I don't even remember doing it. I looked up, and was like, "Wow, I got 10 minutes to get coffee and get it together." And I'm tired for sure, and I wanted to talk about like yesterday I started to talk about like the difference between motivation and accountability, and I mean, it's accountability that actually gets me like here this morning because I certainly wasn't motivated. I wasn't. If I wasn't in to hold myself accountable, I could have easily triple snoozed or you know laid there. I don't even remember snoozing. That's the I think that's how deep a sleep I was in when I was like hitting that snooze button. And I don't know. I haven't really spent much time reading or exploring about the big difference, but Ron always has some deep thoughts on things.
Deep thoughts from Ron Handy. No, I mean, I snoozed this morning, right? And the only thought that I had was, and Rob, you could probably comment on this. My older daughter's getting ready to, finally select a college, and they can be hard to button down and or want to sit down and hang out. And it was like 8:30 last night. And I was like, well, I'm kind of winding down. And she came downstairs and she was like, I'm kind of free. And meaning like this evening. And my wife was like, do you want to watch a movie? And it wasn't even a thought. I'm thinking, man, in 4.5 months or so, she's going to be out of here. And I'm like, absolutely. So we sit down and we start to watch a movie because I was like, I can't believe she wanted to hang out with us at this stage. It's a completely different end of the pendulum.
Yeah.
So you take those opportunities, right?
Mm.
So
Yeah, all the time recently.
yeah.
Yeah. So, but when I'm trying to think, I guess it was yesterday. Well, this morning, right before we came in here, in particular, I was like, you know, um, if I wasn't going to jump on this call, right? I mean, it's definitely, I thought to myself, I was like, would I go back to getting up at 5 or 5:30, maybe 6 o'clock? And, and I was like, I really don't want to test that. Where I think at this point I would still get up, at 4:15 or 4:20 because of the productivity and everything. But I've definitely, like, in the evening time, there's times where there's just, you know, there's choices that come up that you got to take the opportunity. It's 9 out of 10 times it's with the kids. It's anything else. It could be a matter of like, hey, we have something that we can go to with friends or family, and I'm like, hey, that's great. I got to be out of there by 9 o'clock. So that way I can start like the nighttime routine. But yeah,
I'm scared to not get up uh, because the benefit for me. I mean, I always look at it as one extra hour. My work from 5:30 to 4:30, and I multiply that out 1 hour a day, 365 days. That's 15 24-hour days or 45 8-hour work days, and I spend all that time with my son in the evening, and nobody knows except me how that's the only way I can make it all work and not steal a minute from our little guy. And he's he's accelerating so fast in speaking and pulling things together and everything that like this is the time to be with him, so I've talked to so many, mostly mothers, like that don't believe, like, or like, you hang out with him every single night. And I'm like, every single night, every single weekend, every single morning. Sometimes he gets up later than 8. Our au pair takes over at 8. And then my routine gets me at my office exactly at 9 o'clock. But it's interesting because it's I'm on, I don't even know what it is, day 380 something of going live, but into my 5th year. So it's really just, I know how easy it is to break the momentum, like once you miss one day, then it opens up the, options. And so every time, if I miss a day, that hurts my relationship with Flynn. So I think mentally that's what I got it tied to. And, of all people, that Jordan Peterson little 20-second clip about not missing a day with your kids until they turn 4, or the first 4 years of your kids, you do not want to miss any of it. Like, I just keep on having that quote. I don't know if you guys have ever heard it on like TikTok or, and that's the thing that I think just keeps it going. It's tough too. The whole thing to keep it rolling. Nobody's patting me on the back, but that's not what makes it tough. It's just a rigid structure, and if you have any amount of like free spirit in you, it's not like a free spirit framework, So
Yeah. Any extreme is hard on anybody. I mean, and it's also hard on others, right? Like I realize that getting up early to get ahead is not just a sacrifice on me; it's a sacrifice on the rest of the family as well. So, I mean, my wife doesn't love it when I get up at this time, and especially when it's the weekends, if there's nothing going on, and she wants to spend more time, or like, why get up? But she supports it, right? So
do you quietly get yourself out of bed, or
I mean, I try to as quietly as possible, but like the
slide off the bed?
dog's like, yeah, exactly. Grab pants off the bed. The dog's like, what's going on here? Am I coming with you? Are we doing this?
Like a ninja in the dark.
Yeah.
So
I'm
she
like, you're staying.
basically wakes up a little bit every morning at 4:15.
Yeah.
In the beginning, my wife definitely was not, it was disrupting. However, we adjusted. She realized, hey, this is what I'm capable of doing by the getting the additional amount of time getting up. And we just, like everything, every change that we've had since kids, we've just had to adjust, and we normally end up being fine with it. But it really is, it really has started where, and I mentioned before about the fitness, but if I played tennis on Friday night, and it was until it was from 7 to 10, so almost 3 hours of tennis in there. It's tiring, man. I mean, it's old guy tennis, but there's a lot of young guys, and then getting up, and then the routine is, after I'm done here, quickly do some journaling, get some stuff, and then I'm doing the fitness and doing 40 minutes roughly of fitness after 3 hours of tennis. It's not easy, but
We call it pickleball.
Yeah.
we call it
Yeah,
pickleball.
yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I should shift to pickleball.
So, I mean, do Ron and Rob like the benefit of having more time in the evening where you're not working on stuff where you might have been in the past?
I mean, my immediate reaction to that is and I've said this several times throughout this, sprint, is I don't have more time. I have a reallocation of the time. I have the same 24 hours in the day. I'm just more conscious of how I'm spending it, right? So I'm not. I still have to sleep the same amount of time, right? I may sleep 7.5 hours, right? Anything less than that, I start to become not the person that I need to be to do the job that I need to do. So I'm maybe 7 hours, 6.5. But if I do that for a sustained period of time, I will become less effective. So I don't have less time in the evening. I just, whatever's a priority, I adjust for it, right? I'm fortunate to have an amazing support group around me, right? So I still leave when I need to leave. I'm at wherever I'm at I just do different things in this time that don't take away from those later times, right? So to Rob's point, yeah, I'll spend a lot of time like reading while on the treadmill in the morning, so I'm making sure that I'm making my health a priority, so I'm not doing it when I have to get home, right? So
Well, we hit our time. Josh is so young. He got up at 3:00 today, and he ran 17 miles. And no,
Juggled some lions.
he did get up at 3 though. He's like, I'm ready to go, man.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
that's
3.
awesome.
Anyways,
Awesome.
good chat. We'll see you guys tomorrow.